Happy Monday! Welcome to another Magic Monday video. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Patty Diaz, and I specialize in helping women break free from societal and cultural expectations as well as limitations, and also leave old identities behind that don't resonate any longer, or maybe they never did, so that you can go out and create a life designed by you instead of one designed for you by living a life of magic. And for me, magic consists of manifestation, abundance, gratitude, intention, and clarity. And all of this combined to help you live life unapologetically on your own terms, regardless if it makes sense to anyone else or not. You are the only one that has to love your life and that it has to make sense for. So on Mondays, I bring you videos with a tidbit, a tip, a way of thinking, something to try or keep in your magical toolbox for when you do need it. And hopefully, so that you look forward to Mondays instead of dreading them. So today's topic was basically picked for me because today is the full moon. And for the full moon, I always practice forgiveness and gratitude. So I will be talking just a little bit about performing some full moon forgiveness, either today or in the next few days, or even this week and throughout the waning half of the lunar cycle, because this is the time to forgive, let go, and release, and then fill that in with gratitude. So, what is the purpose of forgiveness? I talk frequently about how to do it, but what is the purpose? Why forgive someone? Why forgive yourself, even? A lot of times we don't realize that forgiving ourselves is what's required. And the purpose of forgiveness is to heal. It is the process of healing instead of burying the emotions, instead of holding on to hurts and resentments and angers. All those things do not benefit you. I see them energetically as a black, like, ball of tar or sludge that is just growing and festering and bubbling in your system, in your soul, in your energetic field. And it leads to dis-ease and also health issues down the line, or it can if not addressed or dealt with, in a healthy way, instead of trying to um, drown our sorrows or cover them up with vices or activities or habits that really are not beneficial and most often can be harmful. So, forgiveness, another point that I want to bring forward is that it's a process. If there is something or someone or an experience that you are ready to forgive, and you've been holding on to this hurt, to these emotions, to the anger or the need or desire for revenge, whatever it is, if you've been holding on to that for a long time, don't expect, it's not I think healthy or realistic to expect that we're just going to forgive it just like that. We've been holding on to it for a long time. And it probably has just been gaining strength, not just staying, still or at the same level as when the incident or whatever we're forgiving first happened, but it's been building and intensifying and yeah, I did say intensifying. So forgiveness is a process. And the process that happens, at least from my experience, is that it's difficult to approach at first on some level, or uncomfortable. Uh, and it doesn't feel very great. Sometimes it brings up emotions. A lot of times it brings up emotions. And our initial instinct may be to suppress them. But for forgiveness' sake, for forgiveness to take effect and to do and work its magic, allowing those feelings, those emotions, those resentments to come up, Be cleansed through tears if the tears is what's come up. If it's anger, releasing that anger, yelling into a pillow. Maybe this is part of a forgiveness ritual that you start if that's how you release things. Movement of your body, either hard, like running or something strenuous exercise, or simply focusing on moving and releasing energy from your body through yoga or Pilates or something less strenuous. Find the thing that works for you to help you, or that naturally comes up for you, or you feel the need or the call to do to release this. The tears, letting them come, yelling, like I said, into a pillow. You don't want to scare neighbors, hopefully, or family members. Um, Running, strenuous exercise, or more mindful exercise with the focus and intention of moving and releasing the energy. And then as the forgiveness takes hold, as the process continues, you will notice that, first of all, the emotions aren't so strong. The reactions, the triggers are not quite so intense. It might still have an emotional react, but you're not instantly in tears. Maybe it's just a little bit, you can feel that tingle or that sensation, or that pull in your stomach, whatever it is, but it will start to lessen. It won't be as intense. And then as it continues to heal, as you continue to progress and grow, you'll notice that you're going to be able to talk about the thing, the person that you're forgiving, the circumstance, the situation, and simply tell it as a story. There might always be parts of you that are emotional, especially if it's relating to a family member or a loss or something along those lines. You may always have that emotional connection, but it doesn't become as triggering and it's not as intense. And then you'll talk about it like a story, as if you're simply conveying information, which is exactly what you're doing. You're helping someone else, possibly by sharing your experiences, and it's not as triggering. And another thing I want to point out quickly about forgiveness is that a lot of times we think, okay, I have gone through this forgiveness process. I have experienced it and it's no longer triggering. I'm healed. And that is true on one layer, but we are like onions, and life and energy and experiences um, are not linear in nature. So something else down the line, completely unrelated to what led you to forgive this the first time, may bring it up again from a different perspective, or you're reaching a new level. You're up leveling or growing and developing. And now this comes up again. And for that, when that happens, I want to remind you, don't think of yourself as a failure, because now you're ready to forgive the next layer. Now you're ready to do that next level of healing, of growing. So when things come back around, and most often than not, they will, if not the lessons or the experiences, the perspectives, give yourself some grace and say to yourself, I've done this before. And I'm talking about the time that it comes back around when you have, worked through it the first time. Say to yourself, I've done this before, so I know I can do it again. And that's all it is. It's information. It's up leveling. It's growth. So practice some full moon forgiveness today and through the waning half of the lunar cycle. If you're like me and like to burn things, I like to burn my forgiveness list because that helps me visualize letting go of that energy. And also, I can see the representation, the paper being transformed into ashes, and then the smoke being carried out into the universe to be, taken care of, recycled, repurposed, transmuted into something positive. You can also write out your forgiveness list and bury it. Keep it in a notebook if that does feel right for you. Get rid of it, flushing it down the toilet, whatever feels good for you, and gives you that sense of, okay, I have completed this practice this time around. And if I need to repeat it again the next full moon, or when I notice that the triggers are starting to become stronger, I can do it again. because it will be a process, ongoing. So there will always be something for us to forgive. Um, and it will come back around for another lesson. So that's the tip for today for full moon forgiveness. And for this week's cards, because it is the full moon, just like a couple weeks ago, we had the new moon on for or just before the Monday video. Today I'm using the Moonology Oracle cards for our full moon. And I did pick 3 cards today again. And I didn't quite know what the message was, but that's also a learning process for me. So it's like, I don't have to know. Maybe it will instantly mean something for you or something completely different. But the cards I pulled for today are the new moon in Libra, and it says a new romantic cycle begins. And this is where I was a little perplexed. I'm like, what if a romantic cycle is not something, that comes across, or what does that mean as a collective message? And I thought about pulling a different card that made more sense, but again, that's the process. That's the discomfort. That's me doing this as a service to you guys and providing this without me necessarily knowing what it means. But what I did come to in thinking about it is that it might be anything that has to do with the heart. Maybe you're opening up to new experiences. Maybe you're opening up to possibilities of meeting new people. Maybe if you are already in a relationship, a new cycle begins. Are you becoming empty nesters? Are you welcoming new members to your family through, births or adoptions or blended families? What is it for you that comes up as heart centered, related to the heart? And maybe it's a sign to open up your heart more to possibilities. I don't know. So I'm a little unclear on that one, but I'm going to leave it here because the card came up for a reason. So a new romantic cycle begins. And if this really resonated with you, I would love for you to tell me in the comments what that is, what that message was, or what that thing that clicked was, because apparently this card was more for you or specifically for you in that vein. The second card is conclusions are within reach. This is a full moon eclipse card. So if things have been troubling you, or if there are situations that just kind of seem to be lingering, this says that the conclusions are within reach. And I would say to you also, be open to the conclusion being or coming in a way that you did not see it, or resolving itself in a way that you didn't think about. So I think this reminds us, as we're in the full moon energy, and then we will be heading into the waning half of the lunar cycle, that conclusions are within reach, but maybe it's not how I thought. So be open to that. And then to wrap things up, surrender to the divine, which is just the full moon card. That is the overall message of full moons: surrendering our troubles, surrendering our intentions, our desires to a higher power, to a higher source, and keeping in mind that surrender does not mean giving up in this instance. It means turning it over to some energy or entity or divinity, that whatever resonates with you, turning it over to a higher power, for that to then be taken out and worked in your benefit, and to attract things that you didn't even know were possible, or in ways that you did not know were possible. That's not to say you can't recommit to the same intention at the next new moon or to the next step, but surrendering it, letting go of the urgency, letting go of the attachment to timing, or the attachment as to how it's going to happen, is the overall message of the full moon, of surrender to the divine. So those are the cards for the week. Not super clear for me, but I know it's still important. So I stuck with it and presented them to you as they came up. So have a fabulous week. And if these videos are something that you enjoy and you think someone else might benefit from them or enjoy them as well, I invite you to type their name in the comments, or maybe share this video, pass it along to someone else, or to your timeline, feed, page. I don't know what the right terminology is right now, but pass it along, and see, that will help it reach the people that it's destined to reach. So thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Take care.